Okay, now we have our Music Radar fan questions.
Okay, fan questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, you ready?
Yep, ready.
Okay. Dream87 says, "Oh, please tell Richie to do another solo album. Stranger in Town is my favorite album of all time." So, solo album?
Love to, man. I've been so busy with this band, I haven't had a chance. I have been making some. This is really crazy, but I came out with this fashion line. It's called White Trash Beautiful.
Okay.
And you can look it up online. It's been everywhere these days. It's going to come out in the fall. But originally, John and I had written a song called White Trash Beautiful, and it was not what we needed to write. So one day I'm walking around the house scratching my ass, and I said, that sounds like a clothing line for women, right? So I met up with this girl, Nikki Lund, who happens to also be a musician, and she's a tremendous fashion designer, has a existing company called Eccentric Symphony, very big fashion company.
Right.
And we started designing clothes, and I had my first fashion show in LA on Friday of last week. Very successful. And I'm going to distribute music on G drives on the clothes.
Okay.
So she happens to be a tremendous kind of musician writer also. And we wrote some stuff, and it was really, really good. We took it into this production team called The Matrix, who's produced everybody from Korn to Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, David Bowie, I mean, just a ton of people. And we came up with 5 songs, and we put them down. And I'll be damned if it doesn't sound like a record. And I sang 2 of them, and she sang 2, and we did a duet on the other. And I think it's going to be a record.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a record. So people are going to hear some Richie Sambora solo stuff in, I would imagine, probably, before the end of the year, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. We have had maybe 50 questions asking the same thing. Lucas Colonel wants to know, when are you playing Argentina?
I think South America is in November. I'm pretty sure. Not exactly sure, but we will definitely hit there on this tour.
So there we go.
At some point, yes.
They will be there.
We'll be there.
Okay. Richie's Swiss girl says that she read that you are waiting on the first double neck Martin 612.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
When will this have its first appearance?
Hopefully, I'm hoping this summer at some point.
Okay.
Like I said, my luthier who helped me with the electric is monitoring the situation at Martin and helping them put it together to my specifications, and I'll have the first double neck Martin. I've been trying to get him to do this for, because I've been an endorsee of Martin now for the past 2 tours, so past 3 years. And my limited edition did very, very well. And I've been asking them to make a double neck, and they were scared at first because they never did it.
Right.
And I just said, come on. So I kept on needling them, and so I think they're going to do it now. So.
John Franco 888 wants to know, what is the best amp for playing the blues?
The best amp for playing the blues? God almighty. I mean, it depends on what sound you're looking for, man. I mean, obviously, nothing like an old Fender Tweed to make it happen, Good old Marshall, like Jimmy Page, nice plexi like Jimmy Page uses, ain't a bad thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, there's tons of amps out there that sound great. So it just depends on what sound you're looking for. I mean, I like everything. So I don't know. I got a warehouse full of stuff. So I like everything. So I can't. That's a tough question for me to answer.
Norman Evigan wants to know, have you ever taught John Bon Jovi, something on the guitar that he could never nail? And how would you rate him as a player?
He's getting better and better and better. Actually, you know what? Before this tour, I think that he really started working really hard. He did some woodshedding. And he'll ask me a question about, specifically how, when I'm playing a lead and stuff like that, how I'm coming up with the melodies or what's that. And I'm, obviously you have you start with pentatonic scales, this, that, and the other thing, but now you play what's going on in the chords. And you start playing around in the chords, and so I give him a couple clues here and there. But yeah, he's been working hard. He's getting better and better.
Dana Pressman II. I didn't know girls could be the second. Okay.
Exactly.
Dana Pressman II wants to know, what is your secret weapon piece of gear that you use when recording that you cannot do without?
I guess probably my 59 Les Paul. I guess that would probably be the one piece of gear. I mean, that's it's not secret.
Yeah.
Let's face it. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I play pretty simply. On this particular album, I actually use a lot of analog pedals, which I normally don't do, and I usually put the effects on afterwards. But on this, I printed a lot of effects on the Circle. I did print a lot of effects, which was actually pretty cool because there's a lot of filth and noise and with analog pedals that just naturally happens, and natural distortion and stuff that come out of the pedals, natural compression that are built into the circuitry of that stuff. So, but there's nothing that's secret, man. I just. I make stuff up, man. I'm just a knob twiddler, man. I just take out a bunch of pedals and start fooling around and, come up with cool sounds. That's it.
Hunky Chunk, that's a good name,
Hunky Chunk
says, although you're a self-taught guitarist, were there any guitar method books such as Mel Bay that aided your learning when you were a kid? He says that he saw a picture of you when you were a kid with a Mel Bay book.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
There's probably in the table book that we just put out. Yeah, I definitely,
That's the book he said, yes.
Yeah, I did a whole Mel Bay kind of thing, but then I just did chord dictionaries and things like that. That was very important in my self-teaching, because it was kind of easy. I just thought it was good.
Sons of Beaches wants to know, Sons of Beaches, if you weren't a member of Bon Jovi, who would be the members of the Richie Sambora band?
Jeez, I don't know. God. Who knows? I mean, it's to unravel the history of this band and see where I would have been. God Almighty, I don't know. I mean, I always played with musicians that were the session guys that were in town that week. I used to have a band called Richie Sambora and Friends, and I constantly changed members all the time.
Okay.
And it was like, if there was like 3 guys in town that I knew that were cool, they'd show up. Sometimes I would take guys out of bands that I played in. When I played in like high school battle of the bands and stuff like that, on Monday and Tuesday nights, I would just either play by myself or maybe with another bass player. I mean, I was just, whoever was in town, basically.
Soph wants to know, what is your favorite song to play live?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I figured I'd give you a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
But which one are you having fun with right now? Which one's feeling really good?
I'm having fun playing a new album because it's fresh. And we've been playing 240 to 3 hours these days.
Wow.
And we play 7 or 8 songs off the new record in that set. Because it's a long set. So I've been enjoying playing the new stuff. I'm really happy with this record. So.
And let's see, there's other people asking when you're coming to Argentina. It's they want you in Argentina.
Yeah, listen, man. I mean, I don't know why it's been so long since we've been. I think because the South American currency has been really, fluctuating so badly that from a business level, the promoters haven't been asking us to go down there, and unless you have a sponsorship kind of thing, and quite frankly, we've been so busy that. Haven't been able to make it down there, but it's on the schedule, I think, for this year. So,
last question. Someone called the Jack wants to know any plans to do a straight-up country record, because obviously you had the big hit with the... No plans?
No, I don't think so. I think that, I wouldn't rule out, I wouldn't call even the record that we made a country record. It's got a Nashville, orientated kind of record, and we went to Nashville and we did use some elements of that because we had the first #1 single by a rock band on the country charts in history.
Right.
So, as a band that's been around for almost 30 years now, when the door to evolution flips open, we're going to open that door, because, that's just kind of like, if you don't do that. So we just, John and I went down there with a blank pad and a pen and went, what the hell is this going to sound like? Because we had no idea, you know what I mean? It just kind of happened. And lo and behold, we made Lost Highway, and we loved it. And we didn't know if people were going to like it, but it came in #1 in 17 countries across the world. So we actually introduced country music to a lot of those places that probably never even heard it before. But for us at first, it was like throwing a grenade and putting your hand here, closing your eyes, going, "What is going to happen?"
Yeah.
You know, we had no idea what the heck was going to go down. So I mean, but happily, it was. It turned out to be a beautiful experiment, and consequently, we had the biggest tour in the world last tour. You know, we had the highest grossing tour and
Not bad.
ever with a Nashville oriented record. So who knows?
Because I know you got to go. Last question. Dominic Critelli wants to know, is there a particular area of your guitar playing that you feel you have to improve upon?
You know what? Yeah. Actually, I walked into my good friend Norm's Rare Guitars shop not too long ago, and there's a guy playing acoustic guitar, and you learn with a lot of open tunings.
Right. Okay.
And he happened to be a very accomplished guitar player. I've never met him before, but I admired his work. His name is Lawrence Juber, who used to be in Wings.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So Lawrence, he was sitting there playing, and I'm going, "What the hell are you doing, man?" And he was working with these open tunings, and so I asked him. I said, "Would you? I need to have some lessons from you, man, because I wanted to see what you're doing." So, and he was doing a lot of finger picking, obviously, on an acoustic with a bunch of open tunings that I wasn't accustomed to, and he was making a lot of this stuff up, and so I haven't had a chance to sit with him yet, but we've been in communications, and I'd like to learn a bit more about different open tunings, and get into some of that like Lawrence Juber, Michael Hedges territory, stuff like that.
Very cool.
So that's what I'm going to do in my spare time somehow.
Awesome.
So,
Richie, thank you very
right,
much.
Jeff.
This is Joe Basso with Richie Sambora, and Richie's been answering your questions. So thank you very much.
Welcome.